management taking care of a company. You know, the workers are out there working hard, doing what management wants them to do. But unfortunately now, too many companies, management is at one company one day, a couple years later, the next one building their resumes.
Do you know whether that's the case with Hostess?
I don't know.
Because I'm not aware that Hostess has had a big change in management. But tell me this, okay? When you say that the company taking care of, or the management making sure the company is taken good care of, I agree with you that management has to do a good job. But if management is making something that's been around for the better part of 90 years, and they make the product, and the product is a result of labor, equipment, and materials, right? Materials cost what they cost on the open market. Labor costs what the union dictates. And the union says to the company, we will not take an 8% pay cut. We will go out on strike. And they strike the company. What could management have done differently if the equipment in the bakeries are already there, the materials cost what they cost on the open market, and labor is one of the few things that changes. And when they add all the numbers up, management says, we can't make a profit on this product with that kind of labor cost. And they tell the workers that, and the workers say, screw you. If you don't pay us, we're just going to walk out and shut your plant down. How should management how should management have solved that problem?
Okay, I can tell you one thing. You also know that everything is a case of supply and demand. People aren't eating as many Twinkies and Hobos these days.
I beg to differ. Have you looked at America lately? Have you looked at my fat rear end? I mean, I'm diabetic, so I can't eat them anymore. But have you looked at America? Are you really going to suggest to me that Americans aren't eating as many Ho-Hos and Twinkies and Ding Dongs? You haven't been out of the house much, have you?
Okay, I don't know about your rear end, but I don't make happen today. I know a lot of people aren't. I know people are still fat.
Well, that's because my Dr. Hart told me, Dr. Christina told me that I can't eat Twinkies anymore. But seriously, do you really get the impression that Americans are not eating fatty foods these days?
They're eating less. They know what's crap.
Come on, if you're going to assert that, tell me where you see that Americans are eating less.
Give me just a second here, Larry.
Sure.
Hostess is also part of Wonder Bread, who they've also gone into bankruptcy proceedings earlier through Wonder Bread, because they ran Wonder Bread into the ground. You haven't seen Wonder Bread on the shelf in your local supermarket lately.
Well, who ran it into the ground? Because who ran it into the ground? Was it the
management? Let me tell you, Larry.
No, but tell me what they did wrong. Because I'm suggesting that the thing they did wrong was the union said, we want more money than they can afford to pay to make that product. Now, if you think the management did something wrong, tell me what they did. I'll be glad to shout it from the rooftops.
Okay, here we go. So the union, they are members of that union, are the same members of the union of success companies such as Kroger, Safeway, Oral Wheat, Brand, other bakeries that are just doing just fine. So it tells me that that company is mismanaging. Now they signed a contract with the union to pay X amount of dollars, the X amount of pension for 3 years or 4 years, whatever the contract is for. It is my understanding of my belief that the company should hold true to its agreement, and then if they have a beef in one or other way, they do it as contract time.
Bob, I agree with Bob. Bob, I agree with you. Bob, I agree with you in general about contracts, but let me ask you something. Do you know what bankruptcy is?
Yes.
Okay, they reorganize a company because the company cannot make a profit. It is facing for closure. So they went to a judge in January of this year, and the judge said, as part of your reorganization to try and save the company, I'm ordering that the workers work under this set of agreements. And the workers said, we won't do it. Now, do you think that bankruptcy judge under American law has the authority to say, we're going to have you work under a different contract?
Probably by the laws that for them.
So the same law that you are right about, if somebody has a contract and their company is not going through bankruptcy, the company has to pay the contract. And I agree with you there. But if a bankruptcy judge says, I'm going to attempt to save this company, they filed for bankruptcy because the wolf is at the door, and we're not going to save the company. In most bankruptcies, you remember when the Rose Garden went through the bankruptcy, the judge essentially says all creditors are denied payment at all. and all the other contracts essentially go back to zero, which is what should have happened with both Chrysler and General Motors, but the president got in the way. And maybe these folks thought that the president would intercede, but the judge ordered them to work under a different contract. So the same law that would tell them pay the contract if you've got one is also telling them do what this judge orders. And the union workers said, we won't. And they struck the company. What do you think that did for the company's profitability in the middle of bankruptcy?
Not sure.
Now, hold on a second. You're a company facing bankruptcy. You're not taking in enough money to pay your bills, and your workers all walk out and shut your bakeries down. What does that do to a company?
Are you aware that the top managers of Hostess, before they went through this bankruptcy, negotiated themselves or wrote themselves in up to 200% raises for themselves prior to filing?
They may have, but if it was just shortly,
they also paid in the pension fund.
if it is just well, hold on, who pays the pension? The union pays it, takes care of the pension. But if you make big changes in a company, if you make changes in a company just prior to bankruptcy, bankruptcy judges have a tendency to throw that stuff right out. Obviously, in this case, they did not. My argument is these unions ran that company out of business, and they put their workers on the bricks, and they did it to avoid an 8% pay cut, so they got a 100% pay cut, and the non-union workers got screwed too. You've got the Lars Larson Show.
The most news, traffic, and weather 24/7. On air, online, mobile. Stay connected with FM News 101 KXL.
Good afternoon, it's 1:30. I'm Rosemary Reynolds. A small group of protesters made their way up to the United Methodist Church on Southwest 18th this morning. They were hopping mad at the city and banks over foreclosure.
Right now they say they want to fight homelessness, but they constantly putting people back in home.
We're doing eviction support in that building right there this weekend for someone getting put out.
Flynn and about 24 other people protested this morning. Imagine you're cutting a tree and it falls, hitting you to the ground with no help in sight. A Monroe man was using a chainsaw on private property when the tree landed on his midsection. Dennis Brandt was trapped under a 2-foot wide tree for over 3 hours. Family went to look for him when he didn't come home, and a friend cut the tree to free Brandt. He's expected to be okay. Your closing bell numbers: the Dow closed up 46, NASDAQ gained 16, S&P 500 also up 7. FM News 101 traffic now with Tim Ryan.
Now, there was a stall southbound I-5 in the curves. Looks like they cleared that one up, but traffic still playing a little catch-up down there. Also getting heavier right now on the Sunset coming into town. Team goes for the Banfield, and tomorrow, don't forget that both the Ducks and the Beavs is going to be at home, so traffic's probably going to be a bit heavy in the late morning and early afternoon I-5 southbound as people head on down Corvallis and Eugene. Traffic brought to you by Airborne Hot Soothing Mix. New Airborne Hot Soothing Mix with 14 vitamins, minerals, and herbs including C, A, E, zinc, and echinacea. Airborne Real Immune Support. I'm Tim Ryan in the Traffic Center.
Portland's most weather 24/7 with Nick Allard.
Mostly cloudy skies, maybe a couple showers, especially this evening, and highs staying in the mid-50s, then steady rain for tomorrow. I'm KGW News Channel 8 meteorologist Nick Allard for FM News 101.
47 now in Astoria. In Salem, it's 54. Vancouver checks in at 51, and here in downtown Portland, 52 degrees under cloudy skies. We pay cash weekly for the best news tip. When you see something happen, give us a call here at 877-788-4KXL.
You know there's still time to fix up your kitchen or your bathroom before your holiday guests arrive. And George Moreland Plumbing, they're there to help. They've got their November Bounty of Value sale going on right now. They've got an Ultra brand pull-out spray kitchen faucet. It comes in chrome. It's now just $69. Or a white double bowl cast iron kitchen sink for just $199. How about a Cascadian dual flush toilet? That lets you choose your flush. That gives you maximum water savings. And right now at George Moreland, the Cascadian dual flush price to go for just $99. There are dozens of other items on sale, but hurry, selection varies at each store. All prices limited to stock on hand. And if you have questions, you know who to ask. The George Moreland Plumbing Pros. They have free, friendly advice, just like they've been giving you folks since 1927. It's the Bounty Value Sale through Sunday at all 7 George Moreland Plumbing locations. Southeast and Northwest Portland, Tigard, Salem, Bend, Warrenton, and Lincoln City. Find the location near you online at georgemoreland.com. That's George Moreland. Since 1927, if it's plumbing, George Moreland has it.
Weimar is having a membership celebration for our 1.4 million membership families. Even if you're not a member, join us for incredible savings and shop during the open house while no membership's required. Check the special 6-page bulletin for store-wide savings. Join Weimar during the membership celebration and get a free 12-pack of Pepsi or Diet Pepsi. A one-time fee of $5 gives you a lifetime of savings. Shop and save during the membership celebration and open house now through November 21st at Weimar.
If you're thinking Tempur-Pedic, there are two things to remember. One, right now at Mattress Discounters, you get 24 months interest-free financing on Tempur-Pedic, the most highly recommended bed in America. And two, at Mattress Discounters, you also get free delivery. So if you're thinking Tempur-Pedic, think Mattress Discounters. But hurry, this special financing offer ends soon.
Have a good night's sleep for less. Mattress Discounters.
When I closed the door to my classroom, I ended one of the best chapters of my life and started a new one.
When you retire, you have new free...